And welcome everybody. Merrill Chandler here, the Fundability Report. We got some cool things to talk about today. One has been a long time coming, and so I'm going to lead out today right now. First of all, there is a new report out about and this is a lender's report. Remember, I subscribe to lender trade rags. I attend lender conferences, and generally speaking, I'm the only borrower rep, someone focusing on borrower perspective and borrower priorities at each one of these conferences, web classes, seminars, and even these reports, right? And one of them is talking about that as lenders, they were talking about lenders need to level up their credit dispute management for a number of reasons. The first, and this says, if you do not manage the dispute management, it's going to get really gnarly. Here's the reason why. It'll become an actual liability where lawsuits are being won more and more by inattentiveness, lack of attention by the credit bureau / lender, what's known as a data furnisher. So we call them lenders, but you could be a data furnisher. Collection agencies are data furnishers. The courts are data furnishers, right? But data furnishers, to review the simple process, you write a dispute, or let's say a credit repair company or somebody writes a dispute on your behalf. The credit bureaus receive it. They're supposed to check and validate the truthfulness of your dispute and on 3 accounts. Is the account that's being disputed verifiable? If it isn't, it has to be removed. Is it complete? Meaning, is all the data there that's supposed to be there? If it's not, even if it's one data point, if your name is wrong, if your social is wrong, your date of birth is wrong, if it's not complete, then if it's not all there, let me restate that. If it's not all there, meaning they have your first name, not your last name. They have your social security number, but not your date of birth. If it's not complete, even by one data point, it has to be removed. And thirdly, is it accurate? Meaning, and that was the case I just mentioned, is some part of the data inaccurate? Well, right now, there is the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is mad pro consumer and pro borrower. And so if the credit dispute is not managed well by these lenders, remember, this is an article written to lenders. They're saying if you do not do right by the borrowers who are trying to dispute and trying to create accuracy, then a number of things you're going to be liable for more and more. Number one, and I'll jump to it right now. The CFPB filed a lawsuit against subprime auto lenders for unfair business practices, right? And so this is a perfect example. Credit acceptance deceives subprime borrowers into taking out inflated loans they can't repay, ultimately leading their cars to be repossessed and harming their already low scores. So the CFPB is on the warpath against predatory lending and violations of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So cut back to this credit dispute management lender form that I have. It says there's a renewed focus on the technicalities of the FCRA because it's being the FCRA is the law that actually governs and monitors consumers, credit bureaus, and collection agencies, as well as lenders or data furnishers. Everybody has to follow this given set of rules. The credit bureaus are horrible at following these rules. And to kind of, in their argument, they say in order to optimize the disputing process, they put online disputes. Well, these online disputes literally use codes, and they use the eOscar codes. We have an entire podcast on eOscar and how it's used, but eOscar is the electronic platform between credit bureaus and data furnishers, lenders. And so when you go online and do a dispute, you literally put in a code that corresponds to it's not mine, or I wasn't late, or this isn't me, or whatever it is. Well, those codes literally, let's say 05 gets sent to a lender. Now, here's the stupidity of the current system and why the CFPB is crashing down on data furnishers and on the credit bureaus. If you say 05 and it goes over and 05 is what the lender has, then it's verified as accurate. They're not looking at the actual data points. Is my name complete? Are all the data points there that are supposed to be there? Is this even verifiable? If it bears the same code, the lender has the same code as the credit bureau, it's verified as accurate and no reference to the data itself. That's what the CFPB is coming down on. You can tell I'm already exercised about this. And so dispute volumes are rising. And so the lenders and credit bureaus, the data furnishers and credit bureaus must get their act together to handle the additional verifications of real data that are required by the FCRA. Now, who's enforcing this? The CFPB is really coming down hard on anybody who is in violation of, especially if there are repeated incidents of a particular lender being complained about by consumers or collection agencies, et cetera, et cetera. And so all of this is amazing. I mean, remember, I co-founded Lexington Law Firm over 30 years ago, and I am thrilled to see that there is that lenders are being called out on their dispute management process, and that the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is doing its job and holding these parties responsible. So there are great things happening on that account. All right, let's go to our next account. A new survey was out showing that 64% as of December, 64%. This is up 9.3 million more Americans than in the same time 2021. 9.3 more Americans than this time last year were surveyed. We're up to 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and are afraid of continued inflation and afraid that they are not going to be able to pay their bills. So, as we have discussed and even the business funding master course that we have an entire bonus section on surviving and preparing for recessions, how to actually maximize and leverage your credit profile during recessions. If you go to myfundingsystem.com, if you are looking for education on how to protect yourself against recessionary pressures and actually how to come out ahead. It's a magnificent set of videos and trainings that we've included there. And finally, to cover today, that bankers, remember, they're being lenders, bankers, C-suite individuals are being surveyed almost monthly by various and sundry. This comes from American Banker. And the pocket of strength that's being referenced here are actually small businesses and small business owners. And so there is a certain amount for business banks, meaning lenders who specialize lending to small businesses and small to medium-sized businesses. There is not as much refusal to engage credit. So small business is engaging credit at a faster rate than previous recessions, says the American Banker report. So it's fascinating to watch that the very sector that we're in, right? So, real estate investors, small business owners, entrepreneurs, we are pushing hard to grow our businesses even in the current climate. And there was the economy expanded at 2.9% in the final quarter of 2022, but demand for small business loans grew at 3.2%, ahead of the economic expansion, so by more than a point. So small gains, I'll take them. This is Merrill Chandler. Thank you for joining me at the Fundability Report. We will see you every Tuesday on at 3:45 p.m. Mountain Time. I'll see you